Alex here with Flower Street Urban Gardens. We've got a really great installation. I wanted to share this with you guys on the website because a lot of you are going to come up with this kind of a situation. Now, this home is an older home and they completely redid it and it's beautiful. This here is the side wall of the garage. And what you're looking at is brick, and when you initially look at it, you think, oh, it's brick, it's solid, I can place the brackets anywhere I need them to be. What we like to be able to do is go into the grout lines in this instance. But the main thing that I want to talk about is how you're going to attach these on any kind of a framed surface. So if it's a stick frame, which that's what this is, our gardens need to be bolted into the structure. Okay, and the brackets aren't going to line up to where the 2x4 or 2x6, whatever the vertical wood is inside there, the brackets aren't going to necessarily line up to be right there. So what we recommend is installing a ledger board. And all a ledger board is a horizontal board that is screwed into structure. Now with this, we've used this is a redwood 2x4. All these boards here also, it's the redwood, but we did a coat of boiled linseed oil on it. That's why it looks a little bit different. Beautiful color. There's a lot on the front of the house that has the same kind of wood to it, so we're just matching it. So this is just a 2x4. You don't need to use anything larger than a 2x4. And we had to, we installed the top ledger board first. And we installed it with these big screws here. So that's what goes through the 2x4, through the other material, and to reach into the structure so the gardens are really solid now. What we needed to do is, because there's a lot of different things there, for me, I've never really found the stud finders work that great going through all of this old material. If it's on an interior surface, they work great through drywall. But that's not what we had here. So we were able to tap and hear the difference in the sound. Where it sounded solid, we knew where we were at there. This one, on the outside framing, you're going to be looking for, hopefully if it was done by most of the modern codes, those 2x4s on an exterior wall should be 16 on center. These were not. This house was probably built in the early 50s, so it wasn't. These seem to be more like 24-inch on center is what we ended up finding. So we had to drill a few little pilot holes. We were able to do that in the grout line, and then we just caulked over it with just some basic caulking, and then we were able to attach the ledger board. Once we got the ledger board attached, we were able to go ahead and anchor on the brackets, just the top ones, bring that down so then you know exactly the height where you need to attach the other ledger board on the bottom. And then we just drew a line with our level, from this anchor to this one. And so we have 3 of these really strong screws holding everything together. Now, once that's done, everything else is really the same way. We just slide the boards through, and this is the first 2 boards that go in. I like typically dropping those in at the same time. You could do them individually, but however that works for you. And then what I want to do is the overhang on this one is 7 1/4. From the outside of the board to the center of this round bar is going to be 7 1/4. Now, once you've got that lined up, then make sure you line up this narrow board. And there's only 1 narrow board per tier. And then all you need to do is, look how beautiful that one is. That's going right here, front and center. And you're just lining that up. Got another beautiful board here. And again, this coating is boiled linseed oil. This is what we recommend. It's an ancient form of preservating. It can work on concrete, wood, metal. It's a great preservative. So it's flaxseed is the not petroleum based, it's a derivative of flaxseed. And so now, the last board we put in is the back board. Now it's going to fall forward. So we got our, now this one's marked with an R with the arrow. So that means it's going to go on my right hand and that faces down. So I'm going to put that board back up and you'll see it better on the other side when we put in the left one. I'm going to come right over here and we'll just drop that right in. Now a couple of things you're going to notice. You'll notice that the end cap is a little proud of this board, and that's exactly the way it should be at this point. It's not going to be left that way. The other thing you want to look at is, see the space that we have right here between the radius of the round bar and the top of this board? What we want to do is raise that up, push that board down. It's not always going to line up perfect right here to the top of that. That's okay. It's more important that that board's up here on both sides, because what that does is it ensures that it's going to drain correctly. Okay, if you don't do this, you've got the two boards that are touching at these two areas where this gray material is. That's where it's going to drain, and when the wood swells, it's going to get wet and it's going to really close that off. So by just raising these face boards up, pushing down on the end cap, it opens that up perfectly for you every time. And then we've got the pre-drilled holes that's going to go right into the plywood. So just take your time to make sure those are lined up, and then you'll just screw those in. We provide you with the, in your kits, these great little gold screws. They have the little washer sort of built on them. And we also send you the bit for it. So then you're going to want to ensure that you fasten those in. We just do one screw per board. There is no need to put a screw in the back of it. It's not going to go anywhere. So there's no need to do that. We do give you an extra screw in case you want to. It's called toenailing. It's just putting the screw in an angle through the back. You can do that if you want to. On all of my gardens, I don't have those. But that's as easy as it is. Just once you get those set up, it's as easy as 1, 2, it's as easy as 1, 2, 3. And then you'll just, a lot of times with that backboard, you really need to have your end caps to hold that in place. So as you're going along, just let that fall forward so you can get all your boards in place there. Look at what side you think is pretty. This one has a couple of knots on it there. I'm going to leave that one in the back. I'm going to put this one in the front. So just take a quick glance at the boards and see which ones you like. Put those up front, and you can see each one has that little space in it, so you're going to want to make sure you lift it up, keep the drainage open, and once we get the end cap screwed in here, we'll come back with you. We're going to go over some pro tips to install the liners and the soil. We'll be good to grow.